close. Oh my god.
Oh, we've got a full tuck sighting.
We have a full tuck.
Oh, that is a kill too. I hadn't even seen that.
Woo woo.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. Very exciting one. It is the first live streamed knockout game from the Wingspan World Cup. They came in second in Group G, also with a record of 6-4. So, yeah, as I say, this will be a best of 3 knockout round match. So, potentially, up to 3 games here to decide our winner and who is going to go through into the next round. So I'm very excited for this, and of course on the commentary alongside me I've got Groove. So how are you doing today, Groove?
Flan, I am stoked. I am pumped. Every time I see that trailer, it it gets me going. And
Absolutely.
And I decided I've got a little song for our matchup today. I thought, if I might. Yeah. Jeast and ethmah, Wingspan. There you go. I mean, if you hear that and that doesn't get you going, you might not have a pulse.
Wow, that is. I mean, my heart rate was already well up there, but it's just gone up like another 20 beats per minute. So I am pumped. I'm ready. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. So we have done the flip, or should I say, the players have done the flip. And ethmah is going to be going first in this game one. So ethmah, if you could be so kind as to get the invite ready, send that one out. And yeah, we'll get this show on the road. Best of luck, of course, to both players. If ethmah,
I hope I didn't throw them off their game with that. It's like you sing some ridiculous song and now they're just like, yeah.
ethmah just doesn't even know what to do with his keyboard anymore. How do I send out Wingspan invites?
Yeah, I don't know what just happened.
I think he doesn't know who to invite to. Oh, it's not letting him click. Well, that is a problem if you can't click.
Man,
I don't know what you did with that song. I don't know what you did with that song. Okay.
They're really stepping up their bug game. I'm like, this is impressive. Like, it's like that you get every now and again you get the bug where where like you don't get cards or food or anything. It's just like, I don't know. Here like, here, we think you're too good. We're gonna give you this epic handicap. And now they're just taking it beyond that.
Yeah, we're like less than 5 minutes in, and I've already had to get out the technical difficulty screen. So that's when you know things are off to an amazing start. When things are already breaking. We haven't even started the game, so I think ethmah has gone out and back in, and it looks like we are ready to go. So here we go. We'll get rid of the technical difficulty screen, and there we go.
I do have to work in 2 hours, so. Oh, I spy some nice. Oh my! There.
Do you want to say it? Do you want to say the magic words? Tucky, indeed. Yeah, that is a pretty nice looking start. Nightingale, Blackbird, and Rodentologist as well for the bonus card. So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously you might be tempted by something like the Yellowhammer as well as an option, and Birds in the Tray looking pretty good. The Towhee and the Tit are good options, but yeah, I mean, when you've got Nightingale, Blackbird. It's pretty hard not to go full tuck there.
Yeah, I mean, wow, what a start! You get, I mean, when you get, the thing is, right, the beauty of full tuck is it just allows you to kind of hammer a habitat when you're getting, when you get all 3 resources in one habitat, it's like, well, then you can just hammer, right? So yeah, I mean, you get it seems a pretty straightforward start here, right? You lay the Nightingale, lay eggs on the Nightingale, so you're not eating up those Blackbird's egg spots, and then play the Blackbird and just start drawing, man.
I think so. I think that's kind of going to be the way. I mean, I've seen Captain Awesome asking in the chat, do you deny the Tau here? Obviously, such a strong bird. Maybe it's not going to work for ethmah in their setup, but, it could potentially be quite strong for Jeast.
Oh, and Jeast has the opposite problem, right? Whereas ethmah is going to have a monster wetland. Right now, Jeast has no wetland options in their hand or in the tray. So I have to think, maybe even do you consider keeping the bustard here just to try to
I think so.
snap up a card?
I think so, and it's going to help maybe with this end of round. Like you say, just gets you a card, so you can kind of gamble off the deck. But yeah, I mean that flicker straight away, Jeast jumping all over that, and we can see on ethmah's screen 4 worms in the feeder. So I find, I don't know if it's just me in my experience, but there are games where you have lots of worms in the feeder, and then there are games where you get flicker in the starting hand, and those two games never seem to happen at the same time. If you play the flicker early, you might only get a couple of worms, and when you see a feeder full of worms, the flicker never appears. But here we go. This is a real good opportunity, I think, there for Jeast to get this down.
Oh yeah, it's there's the confluence of suck in terms of the no wetland in the tray, no wetland in your hand, but then there's the confluence of greatness with the flicker in your hand and all the worms in the tray.
Yeah, and I did wonder as well, maybe that Oreo. I mean, we all know Jeast. He's an absolute sucker for these kind of co-op birds that are going to give away food or eggs or cards. So yeah, I know obviously Phoebe is his favourite. He quite likes the hummingbirds as well, but I would be very surprised to see Jeast leave something like the Baltimore Oriole in the starting hand. So maybe a food-heavy start here, and it's just going to be seeing what you can get from the deck. It's so tricky because not even having an option in the tray. Do you just gamble off the top and kind of see what you get, or are you going to go really slow, gather a bit of food? And obviously Jeast, they're going to be going first in that second round, so maybe they get lucky and something good comes up there.
Man, yeah, I know. You were talking about the the co-op thing, and it's like, man, that is going to play right into ethmah's strength here, right?
Absolutely.
Like ethmah, the only disadvantage ethmah's going to be at is only being able to get one food at a time, and if you're shipping them extra food, then
Yeah, I think it's gonna be nice for ethmah, right? If there is a bit of food co-op there from the Oriole, that would just help get things going. Obviously cherry's quite a specific food, but I think they'll still be able to make use of that. So it does look like Jeast is going quite heavy here on the food generation, and so again, if we know that ethmah is going to be doing a bit of co-op with that Nightingale, that does kind of weaken that sort of food-heavy approach. But we do have the collar dove in the tray, so that might be an option, obviously, if you do have those extra food to turn those into points. But here we go. The big question has been answered. This was debated a lot in the chat. Do you deny? Do you not deny? I think, quite sensibly, I would say there for ethmah being able to deny that Taui. And of course, they'll be able to play that and lay eggs, and that's going to help for this first end of round goal as well. So you don't mind that at all.
No, you don't. And I think beyond that now, right? You're getting the Nightingale down. You're laying eggs. You're playing the Blackbird. I think ethmah then has to look at the collar dove as an option. I mean, it's for one, you figure there's going to be a bunch of food lying around. You're not going to have issues with food access.
Absolutely.
Right? And there's also that birds with tuck cars end around at the end. So I think, and I said actually get the Nightingale down and then lay eggs. I like them getting the Tauhi down here first, because you're still going to get that seed, and then now you're qualifying for that
absolutely
that first EOR as well. So
yep, it helps. You obviously use the seed to play the Tauhi, but then laying eggs, you're going to get that seed back straight away, and then obviously you've got the eggs and the food. You can play both of these, and like you say, you've got that one egg in the grasslands. Even if you're not going to win, which probably in this position, ethmah's not really focusing on that. You are still going to qualify. You're still going to get that point, and I think that can be so key early in the game. So, a couple of interesting kind of discussions in the chat as well about this flicker placement. Obviously, going in the grasslands here. Maybe not ordinarily where you would see it, but do you think maybe with this first end of round goal again with the eggs and the grasslands, is that something Jeast is looking at targeting here?
Yeah, that's about the only sense that that I can make of it. I mean, I know also like it's not like they need it in the forest, right? If they're saying, okay, I'm gonna be relying on the cardinal, I'm gonna be relying on the oriole.
Yeah,
Well, okay, you don't really need that third forest bird, right? So you may as well
absolutely.
get that down in there, and it's good. Not just for that first EOR, but for the second as well. So you
Yeah.
can, when you do get another grassland bird down, now you're able to lay 3 eggs. So yeah, I think it makes sense there.
Yeah, I like it. I think, like you say, the two birds clearly in the forest that Jesus is going to go for here, the cardinal and the oriole. I think that's basically the food supply sorted, right? I don't think really you need that extra bird there, and obviously helps, like you say, with this end of round goal. And maybe I'm still wondering, maybe that collar dove might be not a bad pickup here for Geest. And so again, you're kind of just building up that grassland, even if it's not these kind of nice strong brown powers. At least you're getting birds there, so that when you lay eggs, you're getting a few more eggs. So I don't mind it at all. But very interesting here that ethmah is deciding to go for cards before playing the nightingale. We don't often really see that. I think ordinarily you would see, that bird go down in the wetlands and then you save yourself the egg. So what do you make of that? Do you kind of,
I
yeah,
Yeah, my thought with that was, I wonder if ethma's just thinking, okay, I'm not going full tuck. I'm committing to my grassland, right?
yeah,
So if they're committing to their grassland, okay, they maybe they put the nightingale in the grassland, and kind of, yeah,
yeah, there we go. There we go. So that is definitely an interesting one, and I think it makes sense. The two food grasslands. I mean, we talk about this all the time. I think once you can generate those couple of food, and especially,
Mhm.
I mean, obviously ethmah doesn't know this, but especially once this oriole goes down, and you maybe get a little bit more free food as well from there, you don't need to think about the forest at all. So I think, yeah, it's going to help ethmah definitely for this end of round. So that might be maybe part of their thinking here. Lay eggs twice, you fill up all those egg spaces. You get that nice early advantage there.
And G-Stin to deny the collared
Yeah,
dove.
yeah, yeah.
Once
I
you
think that's
see the
sensible.
nightingale go down.
Yeah, I think he's definitely, obviously, he knows himself with this oriole. There's going to be some food co-op there, and definitely with this nightingale as well. Yeah, I think he can he can pretty safely expect that ethmah's just going to lay lots of eggs, really throw around the food, and yeah, quite sensibly just having that collared dove as a way, like I said before, just turning some of those extra food that you are getting into points, just so that they're not going to waste. I think that's definitely a good option to have.
Yeah, no, I noticed now. Tuck and Cash has pointed out that there's no face cam. Actually, if you'll notice, if you look at the bottom left of the screen, there is a face cam. That's
Yeah.
Flan is actually a bird with a custard upon for a hat.
Yeah,
So
it's profile pic cam, so you can at least see when we're talking. But no, I don't know. Maybe leave it in the comments. Do we want face cam? I'm not going to do a poll. I was going to do a poll. Do we need face cams? Yes or no? I'm going to vote no. But
I mean, I'm fine with it. I teach online classes for a living. Like, my face cam is my.
yeah,
I got no problem with that.
I think it's something that we've all gradually got used to over the last couple of years, right? Being on video calls a lot. But yeah, plenty of face reveals in the past few weeks. So yeah, maybe I was wondering about player face cams. I want to see player reactions as certain things happen in the game. I think that could be quite entertaining. But yeah, maybe that's one for another day. But here we go into round two, and Geest really hoping for that nice wetland option. Sadly, not to be.
Yeah, man, these this this tray is just a heap of something for G's here. Yeah, I mean, what do you? Unfortunately, it looks like. I gotta move my. There we go. Okay, yeah. I mean, if you're G's, what do you do? Right, you grab the Nighthawk, you grab the Cormorant. I mean, you need something.
Yeah, honestly, I'd probably grab that Nighthawk. I mean, it looks like G's going for the Cormorant. Maybe they're thinking a bit of food. Obviously, any food they get, if they are really going heavy on that forest, that's gonna maybe give a chance to get some tucks. But look at that straight away, ethmah blind off the top of the deck, getting that Forster's turn. That's exactly what Geese would have liked to see.
Oh yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
interesting to see them kind of so quickly discard that sparrow. I mean, I don't know. I could, especially when you've got the towhee,
right.
so you've got that seed coming, and you, as far as being able to get food for your other birds, you're going to be able to do that with the nightingale. Geest is going to be handing out cherries like it's Halloween, like how people hand out all those cherries on Halloween. It's a great metaphor.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess that, the only maybe slight drawback of the house sparrow, obviously over the collar dove that Jesus got, is that it is specific on the food type. But, with the towhee and obviously the nightingale, ethmah can choose whatever food they want, so they could choose seeds to give out and obviously turn those into points. So I think it is interesting, but to be honest, I can understand them wanting to keep this Corsican nuthatch. Obviously, it's helpful for this end of round goal. We talked before about once you've got that 2 food generation in the grasslands, I think you can really focus on filling up your forest with these bonus card giving birds. So definitely a nice one to have in the nuthatch. So do I dare say it? Are we going to see it go down?
I see you, peekaboo.
It's very hard to hold back my natural instinct of salivating. Maybe that's not the right word when bunting comes up, but yeah, I think we can. I don't know. Maybe we can feel pretty sure that ethmah's going to put that down, but definitely, this nuthatch I think will need to go down. Obviously, as I said, the cavity nest is potentially going to come into play if they can get enough birds for this end of round. But I think as long as you've got space on that blackbird, I don't mind continuing drawing cards here, right? You keep getting a couple of points, you're seeing lots of cards. I think it's just about looking for those big point birds and those engine building birds at this point for ethmah.
Sure. I wouldn't even mind. I don't know, broad-winged hawk necessarily. I mean, that's a 5 points for them for a single food after you discount the egg, and
Yep.
and it would help them with that 30 OR potentially.
Definitely.
I don't know. We'll find out on that.
Yeah, and ordinarily rodents might be quite difficult to get hold of. With this nightingale, not a problem at all. So, I certainly wouldn't mind picking that up. But equally, the crossbow I think is a pretty good bird to be getting from the deck there. Obviously, a couple of seeds, which are pretty easy to get, and 6 points for that. So, still we got some Nighthawk fans in the chat. I think it's maybe one of those. When it was there at the start, I think Jeast could have potentially gone for that, but maybe is getting on the late side here. But that is a good bonus card pool. That's what you want to see there from the nuthatch.
Oh yeah, that's very likely to be 6 points when you consider. I mean, that just kind of gives you a little bit more of an incentive to build out that forest.
Absolutely.
As maybe for the 30 OR, right? It's sometimes you might see in these scenarios, well, okay, if my my opponent's already got a big head start on me in that one, maybe I just try to get the one bird in. But
I think
that's a nice pull.
Absolutely. I think, pretty naturally the way ethmah's going, they're going to build up the grasslands, they're going to build up the wetlands, and maybe they would have left the forest maybe to that last round, get the big point birds down. But definitely, I think with that third end of round goal, and now with the bonus card as well, that definitely gives them, extra incentive, I think, to get some nice birds down there. And when you're scoring points from an end of round goal and from a bonus card for just doing one thing, I think you can be happy with that. So ethmah's still looking like they're going on the card gamble, and there we go. That is what you want to see. Big point woodstock and a big point night heron.
Oh my god! And add 2 to those for being rodent birds too. That's
absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah, that is pretty nice. Oh, what do you get rid of here? I think. Okay. I can see getting rid of crossbill there, but yeah, definitely those 2 wetland burns. Wow, those are pretty much instant plays. And again, with the nightingale, absolutely no problem getting the food for those. You can get them down. And even that night heron, if you want to use that, turn some of your extra eggs into food. If you're looking for something specific, maybe looking for fish or rodents to get the woodstock down as well. Yeah, what a great pull that is there for ethmah.
Yeah, and I'm flabbergasted. It's like things really seem to be going ethmah's way here so far.
Definitely, and I think that just goes to show the power of having those extra turns drawing cards. We said at the time, ethmah, they picked up some good birds. They got the crossbill, they got the indigo bunting as well. But I think as long as they have space on that blackbird, I think continuing to draw some cards there, just see what you get, and yeah, it's definitely paid off here for them. I think conversely, we kind of look at Jeast, definitely struggling, I think, with this wetlands. They played the Cormorant, but I don't think Jeast has actually drawn cards again since then. I think it has just been getting food. I mean, they're absolutely swimming in food here, so should see a lot of that behind the dove. But it's a risky game here, Jeast, because they're not really generating points from any of these actions, and they're not really getting that extra card draw that they want to be seeing.
Yeah, I mean that grassland, and somebody pointed it out in the chat. I mean, the grassland is all you're getting is eggs, right? There's no ground power there whatsoever. So let's see what we got. Oh, why is Mother Love on game 2 when that bird is in the tray?
Who knows? It might come up again. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But
oh my. There's no justice in the world, Flan.
No, if we could have everything our way, we would have saved that for the next game. But we do have a Clark's Grebe as well, so maybe that might be something Jeast could look at grabbing and getting that down and just getting some extra card draw, because I think this really is going to be a struggle. But there we go. I'm happy now. Bunting is down. Thank you, ethmah. I mean, the feed is looking great, and I think the struggle can sometimes be when there's a lot of food co-op and your opponent maybe isn't going to gain food quite so much. If the bird feeder gets stuck and you're not gaining the extra food from that, it can be really frustrating. But I think, the way this is set up, I like this. I think this is going to work pretty well for ethmah. 3 food a turn and only one of those being a co-op food. This is just going to be so strong. Get these 2 big point wetland birds down pretty quickly. And you're pretty set, I think, for ethmah. It's just all going to be about what bonus card they can get from the Woodstalk, and then, on the future turns when they're drawing cards, look for those nice big point forest birds, maybe something more to hit the Rodentologist. But it's all looking pretty strong here, I think, for ethmah.
Yeah, and that's what I noticed. And I noticed this before the last food, too. They were like, they went to put the fish on, and then they're like, wait a second. Jeast has has the Cormorant. I don't want to be giving those fish out. But poor Jeast. Like, look at you get the Clark's Grebe in this round. Now you get Savvies. It's like the game is just mocking the poor man.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where, you just think, why couldn't those have come up earlier? Like in the round 1 tray or even in the round 2 tray, I think you could have still picked those up and been able to make them work in time. But definitely a frustrating experience, I think, for Jeast. But they do get the fish, so it's something at least. I'll be interested to see if they use the fish to play the Grebe, or if they're going to overpay a bit, maybe, and save the fish for the Cormorant. That'll be an interesting decision to make. But maybe they are thinking savvy, and I don't mind that. I think with this Dixisal, they're maybe thinking, okay, if I can just chuck a few cards around, tuck some of the extra ones. Obviously, the final end of round gold birds with tuck cards, that Dixisal is going to come into play for that as well. So I don't mind that at all there from Jeast.
No, not at all. And I like. I think the Nutcracker's a good pickup for him. Just for if nothing else. I mean, if you're guessing, right? I mean, Jeast doesn't know, but you're guessing. Okay, man, my opponent's probably going to get another forest bird down. In which case, now that Nutcracker becomes 7 points for a single food. So. I think that's got to be happy about that. Yeah,
I mean, it helps with the end of rounds. And, you were just saying before about this weak grasslands. Obviously, I think traditionally you look towards that late game, spam the grasslands. Maybe once this Dixisal goes down, there will be a few extra points there. But actually, I think having the Nutcracker down, if Jeast can get some food, cash some seeds, you get points from that. But obviously, all the extra food they're getting can also turn into tuck cards with the collared dove as well. So that could potentially be an option for Jeast to look into, as we sort of go towards this late game. And definitely, the Nutcracker. I like that, I think. Really kind of put the marker down. And obviously, we can see ethmah's cards. Not really any forest options there, but it's good to just sort of put that down and, really cement this strong position in the end of round here for Jeast.
So with ethmah, okay, you got these 6 turns left. I mean, you got one of them's going to be grabbing cards. Your egg space is
very nice.
Jeez, when it rains, it pours, man. I mean, look at that. What is that red start is what, a 8 point or 9 point bird now?
Yeah, looking very, very nice indeed, that one.
Yeah. Wow. But yeah, so ethmah's got what, one turn drawing cards. You figure 2 turns playing birds, 3 turns laying eggs, something like that.
That sounds about right. It's all going to be dependent really on what cards they can draw with their wetlands, and obviously just building out with these couple of extra wetland birds here. Not really super strong brown powers, but it is going to be just seeing extra cards. So they'll have a few turns. I think maybe 2 turns at most drawing cards, and you just see what you get. You look for that nice big point bird, plenty of food access in the grasslands. And obviously, if Jeast is going to use this Oriole a bit more, that's going to help as well with the food access. So yeah, I think definitely I'd be looking at that red start. So I'm quite surprised that ethmah is choosing not to draw cards in, instead go for the eggs.
Yeah. I mean, 9 points for 2 food is tremendous value. I mean, I wonder if they're just thinking, maybe they want to wait and see what the tray brings next time. But shoot, 9 points for 2 food, plus you get to look at a few more cards. Yeah, I think you gotta go up on that.
Hello, Grackle. that might help incentivize some extra card drawing as well. So that would be interesting to see for ethmah. But yeah, I mean, maybe if ethmah was going to go first in that last round, I could understand holding off. And obviously, you get first dibs on that tray. But yeah, when you're going second, even if there are some good birds there, it's likely that your opponent is going to take them. I think especially, Jeast is probably going to try and set up themselves to be drawing cards, knowing that they're going first. So certainly, if there is any Benelli's eagle, Atlantic puffin type bird in the tray, that's going to be gone. So yeah, I think when there is a pretty decent option there in the red start, even that turtle dove might be a good one to go for as well for ethmah. But yeah, I think you've got to grab the good birds when they're there.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm still even a little bit surprised at the. Well, I guess maybe he wouldn't have been able to take both the.
There's the eagle. That would have been nice with the rodentologist as well.
Yeah, but what do you think about this? About the like the Harrier versus the Red Start, right? It's like if you take in the Red Start, like you get, you're gonna get. I mean, I guess it's 4 points over the Harrier, right? Unless you're gonna play the Harrier on top of the Towhee potentially to try to finagle a second tucked bird. But I don't know.
That's all I'm thinking, is that maybe he's going to put the Harrier on the Towhee. But then, if you are really going to try and hit this viticulturalist, obviously that takes one bird away from that. So you gotta choose where you're going to prioritize. And I think maybe at the moment ethmah is kind of thinking, okay, if I can look to tie this final end of round goal with the extra tuck cards, that could be a play. But we know, and I think it was in the tray as well, the Dixisal. That's going to help Jeast in.
How nice would that woodpecker?
Woodpecker into red start.
Oh yeah, well I guess then it becomes redundant, right? Then you've already got your.
But then you could play the Harrier. Then you could play the Harrier on the Towhee and not feel so bad because you're not going to miss out. So, yeah, we'll see. But Jeast, I think, I was thinking about this. They kind of got a little bit too gung ho, I think, in cashing all those seeds, and then when it came to playing the Dixis, they had no seeds. So, I think that makes sense to get the seeds and not overpay too much. But I'm going to get a poll up. And I'm going to ask you as well, Groove. It might be a pretty straightforward one to answer, but who do you think is going to win this game?
I mean, I gotta give it to ethmah.
Yeah.
I mean, ethmah's just got such a huge lead on eggs. I mean, Jeast, is looking at about probably 20 combined tucks and caches. But yeah, I mean, I think ethmah. I saw ethmah's score before the end. ethmah was sitting at 70 before the 4th round even started. So,
wow.
There we go.
What are the chances? What are the chances they both come up at once?
Wingspan is like, it's like, here, you guys, here, this. Let me show you what,
quit whining.
What an epic first round tray would have looked like, and I'm just going to give it to you in the 4th because I hate you.
Yeah, Yeah, Wingspan has a definite habit of doing that. But yeah, I think I have to agree. For ethmah, it's just looking so strong. The bonus cards, they're going to score really strongly in that area. I think it looks like they're going to go woodpecker into the dove here, so that is going to give them another potential shot at bonus card. Let's have a look at what it's going to be. Come on, ethmah, don't keep me waiting.
Big money, no whammies.
Don't change your mind now, ethmah.
Yeah, spend
What's
the
it
egg
going to
off the towel.
be? Hey, large bird special. Well, there you go.
Oh,
That helps.
there's your.
That helps the Fruiter's Hawk for sure. So there we go.
Yeah.
And
Now
yeah.
you get forget the Harrier.
Yeah,
Right?
I
mean,
think.
well, you're not going to get the EOR.
No,
right?
I don't think so. Not with the sticks down now.
Yeah, they've already. So Jeast is going to get a third. You get the Hawk down. That's a a 3 + 5, 11, 9-point bird.
Yep, definitely worth going for that. I think 3 turns left, lay eggs, play the Hawk, lay eggs. That kind of feels like the natural kind of play here. If you're ethmah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe you could still make a case for the Harrier, because obviously laying eggs is only going to be 4, maybe a 5th with the Hawk. So I think as long as you get rid of all of the eggs off that tower here, I don't think that is going to hurt you for your bonus cards in terms of. Yeah,
well, it does, because now you've with that downing woodpecker. Now you're at 4 for the.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So I think that is. Yeah, you're right. That's going to be what prevents the Montague's Harrier from working. But I still think this is going to work okay for ethmah. I think they've been able to keep the right food here. You can play your Fruitinous Hawk and lay eggs, and that's pretty straightforward. Obviously for Jeast, I don't know, maybe it's equally straightforward. I did see they picked up 2 hummingbirds, which again, Jeast would have loved to get those early in the game, but sadly not to be at this point. But I think, yeah, maybe just lay eggs a couple of times probably is going to be the best play with these extra cards to tuck behind the Dixisal.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, one of the hummingbirds is going to go, but that's extra points. And of course, they've still got plenty of food. So should be able to max out tucks on the dove. So I think Jeast will be able to bring it back respectively. There we go, with just a little tease there on 74. So I think Jeast, obviously winning this end of round goal, feels like they're going to get somewhere in the 90s, maybe sort of mid 90s. So it's fairly respectable, I think, considering where this game started and obviously the real lack of wetlands until that Savvy's Warbler came up as late as it did in round 3. But there we go, just getting a little flick of ethmah score as well. Looking pretty strong there, already in triple digits. So yes, I think it is going to be ethmah's game, and I think it does look like the chat is agreeing. At the moment, we have 70% of the votes for ethmah, but Jeast still has some loyal fans who are supporting him, no doubt, with the 30% vote. So yeah, final turns here. As I said, pretty straightforward there, I think, for both players. Although we are going to see the Montague's Harrier play. So
okay, so if you do that, right, it's you're basically wiping out the points that you're maxing out from viticulture list. You are getting 2 from the rodentology and 1 from the tuck, but still that's 3. You could have laid eggs and gotten 4 and maybe a 5th. Yeah. So
I think maybe ethmah might have just missed out the missing of the viticulturist, and he might see it now. That was obviously missing out.
I thought he might do the thing where they wag the card,
I do like it when that happens on stream. But here we go, scores count up. As I said, it should be a bit of a formality, but just look at all those bird points there for ethmah. Plenty of bonus card points as well, 20 in total, even missing out on those last few viticulturist points. So strong lead. I think Jeast is going to bring it back a bit with the tuck cards hit at the end, but it is not going to be enough in the end. And there we go. Game 1 is in the books, and it is a win for ethmah, 111 to 92. But as I said at the start, this is a best of 3, so do not go anywhere. We have got at least one more game up. Obviously, if ethmah can win that will sweep the series 2-0, and they'll go through. But if Jeast can get the win, that will take us to a very exciting game 3. So yeah, good game. How did you kind of think about that one playing out? Groove obviously pretty strong, I think, for ethmah, and just kind of held on as the game played out.
Yeah, I mean, kind of not how I would have done it at the beginning. I think I probably would have been more inclined to just go full talk right from the get go. But certainly not saying that's that the way ethmah approached it was a mistake. Not at all. And obviously they knew what they were doing, and they nailed it. So.
Absolutely.
Perhaps a full tuck would have ended up, they would have ended up with eggs on their face.
Yeah, I mean, you never do know, right? I think, time and time again when we do have these stream games, I think often when we talk to the players, either on the stream after the game or even after the stream, sometimes in the comments or in Discord, there is always that kind of what if. And at the start, you kind of think, oh, what if I'd taken this bird, or what if I played this, or what if I'd done this instead? And sometimes it can really make a big impact. And I think, like, you and me both, our first instinct there was get the Nightingale in the wetlands, go full tuck. But I think ethmah, they made it work in the grasslands. So obviously a huge number of bird points there, and just really contributed to a big score. So
yeah, not to minimize. I mean, listen, ethmah did a fantastic job and is a strong player. But it just what a difficult start for Jeast.
Yeah.
I mean, no wetland in hand, no wetland in the tray, and then when the round 2 tray comes, all you get is a cormorant. I mean, when you're up against somebody as strong as ethmah, that's going to be a really hard handicap to overcome.
Absolutely, yeah. It's so tricky, I think, at the start when you kind of have that early handicap, and yeah, I think. This is the point being made in the chat as well. I think it could be so difficult to fight back from that at the start. But there we go, game 1 in the books, and yeah, we are, I think, getting ready to move on to game 2. But before we do that, we have a quick change in the commentary team. So it is all change. First up, we've got Mother Love joining on the commentary. How are you doing today, Mother Love?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You are very loud, so I might just make you a bit quieter.
Okay, cool.
But I think that's that's on my end rather than yours. Good.
I mean, you don't have to insult the man. Jeez.
I think he might have just deafened everyone watching on the stream, but that's fine. That's my bad. There we go. Hopefully that's a more appropriate volume. But yeah, joining Mother Love as well, we've got Alex. How are you doing, Alex?
Hey, sound check.
Hello. That is a much more agreeable volume. So my settings hopefully don't need tweaking there, but good stuff. All right. Well, thank you both for being here, and thank you for Groove for joining me in that game 1. And I think we are ready to move on to this game 2. So I'll leave the stream in your very capable hands, Mother Love and Alex. And yeah, enjoy the game, everyone. We'll get this one started.
I just realized I can't type in chat because I'm not subscribed.
You can after 1 minute.
Yeah, you need to subscribe if you want to chat, and I think there's a 1 minute threshold, just to stop any spam accounts that we don't want. We want to make sure. I see lots of familiar names in the chat, so that's always good to see. But here we go. G sending out the invite. I'm going to shut up now. Groove can also shut up. And
wait, who is Wingspan Tournaments?
All right, I'm going to go.
I missed an episode there. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, so I believe it's in your account for the Discord server. So if you guys can please consider subscribing, that will help definitely. And we're already looking at the starting hand for Jeast, I believe. A promising one, I would say, because the first games they didn't have any wetland options, and now they have like 3. So what do you think, Mother Love? How does it
I haven't seen yet. Oh yeah, I mean, it's not bad, I mean, it's pretty good. I'll say that it's pretty good. You have a wetland bird, a forest bird, and you can just play those and then see how the game develops.
Yeah, and what do you think about like going maybe 2 birds in the wetlands from the starting hand, or just the deeper is enough?
Well, the good thing is if you play the yellow foil after, I mean, on the left of the dipper, then you kind of reduce the wool 16 aspect of the dipper.
Oh, so you would prefer like yellow throats going before the deeper. Yeah, it makes sense. And yeah, for the forest, obviously, owl.
Food. Yeah, I mean they're not
pretty
very
good.
hard to play birds, so
Yeah.
it's probably a wise decision. Honestly, you could probably keep 4, but nah, never mind that.
Oh, you would love Jeast to go like double play with titmouse owl.
Yeah, I mean it could work, 2 forest birds, 2 wetland birds, but then it leaves too many single turns.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary, just because like titmouse doesn't help pretty much with no end of rounds. So I would suggest skipping that in a sense. But it's a great start, I would say. Yeah, comparing to the last game. So let's see.
I mean, any start with a wetland bird is a pretty good start.
Oh yeah, and then we have like the ethmah's hand. And
Yeah,
well,
I mean, I see nothing particularly good in this hand.
other than one bird, but yeah, we would have to take 8 moves before playing the bird. So
Yeah, they don't have much else to do in the meantime. If they knew that Jace had the bad owl, they could keep the turkey.
Yeah.
But obviously, without that knowledge, I probably wouldn't keep it. Turkey is generally not very good in 1v1.
I would say with the Franklin's Gull and no like clear options to go for like first 8 turns, then I would think I would consider it. But Crossbill, obviously Crossbill seems nicer just because it's like let's say like a couple of turns and it's a big bird in the forest, and you'll have your food source settled. Yeah, so
Fine, Siskin is pretty decent with Franklin's Gull as well, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to take it. Since they're out Crossbill, they could also potentially go for the Northern Bob White as well. Just to boost the grassland, go for the first end of round, but we'll see.
And maybe Siskin actually, but it's hard to play before the Gull, right? So like, you would have to have spare cards. But yeah, Bob White seems nice as well. Yeah, a lot of X spaces, and we'll get free grains from the Crossbill to put it down.
Definitely a few viable options here.
Yeah. So first few turns likely would be take food.
Yeah, most likely. I cannot see the chat on YouTube.
Yeah.
I hope they're not telling us that we're ignoring them. I'm trying.
Yeah, I mean it's just hard for me to let's say multitask just because I have like a single monitor. So sorry, chat. Hopefully another lap will give you some love.
I mean, it's either I pay attention to the game or to the chat at this point.
Yeah. I mean, first turn kind of obvious, so like we would love to see the Bob White picked up, and there we go. And for the Jeast, turns are much more obvious in a sense. So like you just have to be careful with the ordering, as we mentioned on the wetlands.
Yeah.
So yeah,
fairly straightforward round 1 here. I mean, they're both gonna have a pretty good engine setup by the end of this round. Obviously, with the end of round goals right now, I think ethmah is favored because, well, obviously they're gonna want the grassland engine, and Franklin's Gull being a pretty decent burn overall, regardless of what the end of rounds are.
Yeah, but looking at the tray right now, I would say maybe Starlink is an option. Not sure though, because like still we'll use most of the food from Crossbill to play the Bob White. But maybe just to have like some extra X spots doesn't seem great. So like that's why.
Yeah, I mean it's not something I would prioritize. I'd probably take the Siskin first, just to have something to tuck them cards under.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're gonna see plenty of birds. I wouldn't worry about having turns of single drawing birds and for like somewhat mediocre birds.
Yeah, but still, yeah, with that slow start, we have to find something right to do. So now we're trying to play the Bob White, and we are in time, I think. Yep.
Okay, I think I'm able to post on the chat now.
Nice. So for everyone new who's joining, also please consider subscribing. That helps.
Okay, well, Jeast did go for the correct wetland order. I've played many times against those we said the bird-way birds, and I always feel like they really benefit the opponent. Obviously, they're good in their own right, but whenever I play against a white stalk or a deeper, I know that the tway is going to be cycling. Even if your wetland's not that good, you're still going to be able to snatch a few good birds from that. And yeah, like I said, having the yellow foot next to it means if you reset and show 3 good birds, you can take all 3.
Yeah. I mean, but still, obviously the players doesn't know each other's hands, and with the gal, you just like go from the deck likely.
I mean, you gotta go for Gnatcatcher here.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they decided not to. I mean, Gnatcatcher is a decent bird because like food source, pretty much free grabs, couple of turns. That always seems nice.
I mean, I would think it's considered one of the better starting birds for the forest.
Yeah.
And right now their forest isn't looking particularly good, so I'm not sure why they keep on it.
Yeah, so Parda was a good bird, but you don't generate extra food from that, just some extra points. And food convert to points better if you play birds. So I would think that Gnatcatcher would be a great option here, but not for Jeast, seems. Ooh, missing on the great birds.
Do you think he's expecting a 1-2 Franklin's Girl? And maybe
I mean, it depends. So, like for example, yourself, do you expect divorce to outplay in the game?
No, not usually. But I mean, you do see a fish in hand. So
yeah, it's like if the opponent draws like rodent the very after the starter, or they draw like cherry wheat and they go for the wheat in the feeder, then
there are some signs.
Yeah, so starting to feel something.
I get so stressed whenever I see like just at the start of the game keeps a warden in his hand.
Yeah. So that's always like a sign, not a great one, most of the times. But sometimes people have like, I don't know, like for example, Mardal.
That's fantastic for Jeast because they have a super strong wetland, and now they're gonna have the Raven as well.
Yeah, but at least it's like somewhat balanced now in terms of like OP birds. I would say like maybe Jeast is even a little bit in favor.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna depend if they can get any decent grassland birds, but for now, because the wetland is so strong, they definitely have an advantage.
Yeah, so like they have like an excess of cards, and with the Dixisel they probably go like tucking some spare cards if they don't need to. And like they're scrolling for the options, right? Because there are so many good birds to choose from.
Honestly, I don't really agree with ethmah's play of going for Franklin's Girl, not Franklin's Girl, go for the Wolf straight away, because they're already in round 2. It's like it's a good bird for sure, but it's not one that I would sacrifice a turn just to take or to deny.
I would think that I would draw that as well, because like it's like 11 points. Not sure, and I mean it could obviously go in the wetland, and it helps with Birdbinder, so I don't see why not.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. You know, I'm sure if you asked Tayway, he'd say prioritize the tempo.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not that great of a player myself, so like, if I would be, I would be playing, not like commentating, right? So, yeah.
Hey, we both out of the World Cup now.
Yeah, big sad. I mean, like ethmah did pretty well in the group, and like I kind of choked on my last 2 games. I had decent chances to go through, but what happened?
I'm honestly really hoping Jeast goes through. Jeast, as we all know, is the runner-up for the previous World Cup. He
Yep.
famously lost to the champ Yod Sod by refusing to go full tuck despite a full tuck hand being handed to him by the Wingspan guards. So yeah, I want to see him go to the finals and do some full tucking.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, I'll always root for great like Wingspan games, but I would say that in terms of stats, right? So Jeast is actually a favorite against, because like they have like 12-8 score, but now they're in a position where they have to win like 2 games in a row. So that's obviously not really an easy task to.
Yeah. I mean,
to do against like one of the best players on the server.
One thing that we have to say is that from the previous World Cup to this current World Cup, the level in the server as a whole has gone way up. So it's so much harder now to expect Jeast to go full just because he's a good player, because there's so many good players, and beating ethmah twice in a row, it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like that's an obvious statement, right? Because like with more players, there would be more good players, and then so like there are at least like each one of 16 top 16, I would say, have a chance of winning it all. But let's see how it goes.
Yeah. It's kind of an interesting game for now. I mean, ethmah's really well set up now because they have a pretty strong forest, and Jeast has a bunch of birds they could in theory play in the grassland, but none of them seem that good. Looks like they're gonna go for the Dixie Sow, but snow bunting they picked up straight away. It doesn't look like ethmah is gonna play any talking birds, and similarly Red-winged blackbird you can't play at the same time as the Dixie Sow. You're just gonna run out of cards. So
yeah, but I like the cowbird play. So since we both have like grassland engines, so you would expect to have 3x.
Yeah, and they have so many spaces as well.
Yeah, so like the earlier you get the power on the board, the better for you. So, and Dix is still an option, I would say, because like obviously attacking and extra points, and we can have a lot of excess cards just by going wetlands once.
But at this point, I'd maybe play the blackbird immediately since they have left over. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, also an option, yeah, sure. Because like Dixie sells like 3 food, and we only spend 1 food for 2 points less in terms of cards, like victory points. So yeah, kinda miss that.
Actually, they only need 2 eggs in the wetland. I would be tempted to get food an extra time just so I can play the Savannah Sparrow. Because now it's gonna be sort of complicated. Oh no, they're gonna play snow bunting. Never mind. Either works, but snow bunting is gonna bring them to 4 if nothing else better shows up.
Yeah, I mean snow bunting is definitely a good bird. Maybe not by itself if your opponent doesn't have like any attacking ability, but if the opponent has at least one, then snow bunting is really really great because like it allows to cycle through your hand and cycle the deck and see what's there, what's better.
We see these games sort of going back and forth here between the 2 players, because now ethmah just do Hummingbird, which obviously is going to be fantastic for him, and Bauer's Goldeneye could be useful as well. It would sort of even out with the Cowbird, but I think I'd probably still tuck it.
Meaning attacking the Goldeneye?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Pink Power obviously here is looking great, but it's like a 50-50 situation, right? Because like whatever action you choose, then you get your end score and you will wonder, what if I keep it and what if I attack it and everything like that. So.
That's what I'm saying. At this point, it's a lot of small decisions that are gonna probably end up mattering a lot at the end. What I was just thinking is that since I'm gonna be playing the Hummingbird, I'm probably gonna be taking eggs more than I would have otherwise if I had to alternate with the forest. So
Yeah.
especially because it's quite an expensive bird, the GoldenEye.
Yeah, but then we even out on having like power ourselves, maybe, because like we do not expect the opponent to go easier on grassland just because we played the golden. I would think. Well, it's always again about the balance, right?
Just filled his cup nest. I'm not sure why. Okay,
just to play with us, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, look, I forgot about my cupboard. Not really. And obviously they have like the blackbirds if they need like spare space.
Which setup do you prefer, ethmah01 Skull or jeastthebeast? Who's setting up those polls? Oh yeah, Flan is still in chat. Okay.
Yeah. So according to stats, I would say Gal 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But looking at the board, really hard to decide because like the players have exactly the same number of X spots, and maybe the Raven board seems a little better just in terms of like bird points. Well, it's too hard to decide now.
Yeah.
Looking at the cards in hands right now, seeing the Stork, I would say like, okay, this board is just better, just because like, we will look at the extra bonus cards and.
The Woodstocky is a great pickup for sure.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure. Gull is gonna be a little better for the last end of round, and also the fact that the Blackbird is down on Gist board. I mean, obviously it's the only point-scoring bird they had at the time, but it does mean they're gonna have to go to the wetland more often than ethmah is gonna have to go to another habitat. So it's hard to say.
Yeah. So like, this game is really not clear who is who's the favorite now.
Yeah.
But just like the potential, I would say like we can look at the cards that the players could play, and I would say the Ravens board seems much better now because obviously we would play like something like Pootstork, maybe Cuckoo just to double down on pink powers. We have a lot of options, and with the Gowl board, we'll have to go X again, choose the foods, then look at 2 more cards. If we are like, we can still consider GoldenEye, but we would like to look at more options. So it's just the question of which birds would appear after the LAX section.
I mean, the King Whale is a really good option just because it's 6 X spaces as well as the bonus card.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking as well.
They've almost done the first stage of Bird Banter. I don't remember what bonus card Geast has.
I believe it's Ecologist.
Oh yeah, okay.
So with Ecologist we will score at least 2 already, potentially good potential for 4, maybe 6.
I mean, I'd be surprised if they don't get 6 by the end of the game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes, especially the forest, there's a lot of... there's not that many strong, like, high point value birds in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of hoping for double birds and stuff.
Yeah. So with that hand, like, we looked at the Kite and Rail. Do we play Kite to match the Bird Banter? Or do we look more? Do we dig more?
I mean, I think at this point, I'd probably... The Eastern Bluebird is tempting as well, just for the X space, but it's kind of expensive. The thing is, the longer you spend not playing Kite, is 1 egg you lose every time.
Yeah, so like we have to make some.
Okay, they're gonna play Kite, I think.
Judging by what?
By them taking food, but obviously they don't have the correct food.
I mean, I would say we would go full just to play the Rail then. Why? it suggests that we play the kite. But I think both birds would be played at some point for the reasons that we mentioned earlier.
Well, you know that Jeast is not gonna get more than 2 series of eggs. So, man, those 2 pink powers kind of really shift the game a little bit.
So we would like to score points from birds, from bonus cards.
Yeah. You wanna kind of switch a little bit from just spamming your engine to actually getting bird points, bonus points.
Yeah,
so
but still, it's understandable that we want to look at more options with our hands, because like they don't seem that great.
Yeah.
Right now, but yeah. So like King Rail is a good pick. So maybe something better than Kite will arrive. Oh, that's
honestly, I don't really know what they're thinking about now. They have free turns, they're not going to be able to play 2 birds and then lay eggs, so they have to choose between playing a grassland bird or playing a wetland bird. I think I would probably choose playing a wetland bird just because in close games, you always take the points where you can get them, and if you know you're going to get the end of round by playing a next door wetland bird, I think it's definitely worth doing.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a bird you're going to be playing anyway.
Yeah, and well, they found the food that they wanted. Like now we can play rail and kite right away, and then go X like all the way if necessary, or maybe go X once, find greater birds. Because right now, like it's like 2 turns left, and Raf will activate, but then we would like to have more cards maybe to tag, or I'm not sure whether we decided to tag all 3 if we play rail and the rest will go away. So it's still like hard decisions to make.
Yeah, I'd probably play GoldenEye here. The bird I said I wouldn't keep, I'd probably play it here.
Because like the game changed a little already, right? So like the opponent has like 3 pink powers on their board, so we would have to play around that. So GoldenEye seems nice here, because we play the birds rather than lay eggs, and then
I mean, you're sort of forcing your opponent to shift their playstyle a little bit just by playing that. The same way that ethmah has been forced to shift his playstyle, because he can't spam his engine anymore.
Yeah, but it's I guess it's not really possible to shift the style for the board with the Raven, because like, you would still just take cards and then lay eggs. There is no way you have like other things to do, right? So like you just have to find good cards, probably pick up some food with Raven, maybe play bird once, but then
wow. Okay, that's free. You get the end of round. And get the Bonelli. Oh man, that looks really tough for Jeast.
Wow,
that's Bud Banda as well.
That could change the game very, very. Like it could turn the game around, I would say. It's like.
Yeah, that's kind of a game winner.
Well, obviously, like looking at Bonelli, like let's say I have like flashbacks because like I lost 1 point in 2 games. Both to Bonelli was played for my opponent. I was like, damn, man, like if only that Bonelli wasn't in the deck. That maybe
what happened with Jeast?
Yeah.
Never mind.
You never want to be Bonelli.
Like, yeah, I think everyone has a Bonelli horror story to tell.
Yeah.
It looked to me like Jeast saw the Bonelli Rule 16 and instantly went to Discord to complain.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's what I would do. Or like I would throw my stuff around first and then go to Discord and say like Bonelli again.
Also, it's Spoonbill as well. I can see Jeast's stream, by the way. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can only see the Discord. Maybe it's like I'll tab in between windows. That doesn't work for Discord, or it works. improperly, but yeah. So okay, so we left the kite just to maybe have an option to go full bird bander, but likely not gonna happen. And
Yeah, they probably. Oh, we lost Jeast. Okay.
Yeah, hopefully he'll
Hopefully
come
they
back
come.
soon.
Wage quit. We have a wage quit.
Yeah. Very possible, because like as mentioned, Panel is eagle.
I mean, at this point, I don't know. I don't know why you'd play the white card instead of just playing Bonelli in the grassland. Because you can. Well, they didn't play it. They went for eggs first.
Yeah. Hard to tell. Not sure. Maybe they still consider boss, kite, and whale, which seems unlikely. Maybe they're just playing with us again and just like, yeah, I'll try to lay eggs. Not really, haha, got you, commentators.
Alright, do we have any news from Jeast? Jeast is trying to sort out his twin problems.
Yep. So for now, I think
I will spare the chat. What is being said in,
oh,
in
yeah.
the Discord.
Yeah. Hopefully, Jeast doesn't have like the alta problem when he comes back, because like, not say for rogue stuff.
I mean, this does feel a case where, I'm not sure how close the game is or is gonna be, but I think at this point my predictions are entirely in ethmah's favor, and that's in no small part because of Bonelli.
Yeah, for sure. It's obviously well, it's so hard to speak when Bonelli is like, you got just like drawing cards, doing a great all the game, and then like you see the Bonelli for your point. It's just like, man, I have so like mixed emotions.
Yeah. I mean, he's not in the voice channel at all.
Well,
maybe he just left. Maybe he just left. As Tuck and Cash said, you can't lose the game if you don't finish the game.
Yeah, but I really like the standby screen made by Flan. So if we have technical difficulties, then I guess.
Who do you think wins the game to ethmah? Sorry, I'm just reading from chat.
Yeah, go ahead, because like, as I mentioned.
Captain Awesome, ethmah has 2 fish, a squiggly boy, a squeaky boy, and a seedy boy.
A lot of boys there.
Yeah.
And he flips the bird bandit a little. Because like, we have to spend the time somehow.
Let's theorize this card ethmah can do with the spoon build.
And who made the power move? Well, I believe it was the Wim who was thinking, and then Terry just got to play the Champ of the Birds. That was
yeah. Okay, do we have Jeast back up? We have Jeast!
Nice. Can't see the screen still, but hopefully to load. Yay, nice.
Luckily, because it's just the stream, it doesn't show the massive crack in his screen.
Yeah. And then for ethmah, just like, he sent the spoonbill flying, and now it's gone. Oh, it's here again. Okay.
I mean, they still have a pretty strong end game, Jeast. You know, they're gonna play the Cassin and the Woods. Is the Woodstock? Yeah, the Woodstock to do another layer of Ecologist. Maybe get a decent voice card. Maybe get Omnivore, something like that.
Or you can go like take some food to play maybe Roadrunner. What do you think?
5 turns. 5 turns play Freebird, that's 2 turns of eggs. It could work, yeah.
No, you have to just like decide.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Yeah, so like if you go like 2 bonus birds, or you go 1 bonus bird and the Roadrunner. But yeah, well, I would say best place for me would be
I mean, you have
considerably-
ecology, so you definitely go for the Woodstock.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Especially
that
now
makes
that
sense.
Woodstock also is gonna count for Woodentologist.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, for sure. But before that, I would still maybe consider some place.
So yeah, pretty strong. I mean, 12 bonus points for 2 cards. That's pretty decent.
Yeah, nice.
It might end up mattering what bonus card ethmah gets with the spoonbill.
Yeah. Or yeah. So like we are not considering Stork now because we would be okay on X, and spoonbill is 2 extra points just for the bird itself. Do we play kite here? No. We have plenty of X spots.
Oh yeah, because they could. I mean, you could go kite turtle dove to do bird banter, but doesn't seem worth it.
Yeah,
Doesn't seem worth it. I mean, I would probably just play. I would treat as Stork because you want to limit how many times you take eggs.
Yeah. So like they both have like 1 X spot, so that's it's not like if we were to overlay, but now it's not a problem.
I mean, I think if I'm ethmah, I'd probably try and play the turtle dove and the spoonbill.
That could be an option.
They just need lay eggs to get 1 silly boy, which there is in the bird feeder.
Ooh,
that's
so now with
Oh yeah, take platform builder, he's gonna play the turtle dove. Okay, that's a good endgame.
Yeah, so I guess we got a little bit, not a little bit lucky. Now we have to see what turtle dove brings us. And
which is a massive gamble, yeah.
Yeah. But I think we'll take those, just because like I think there were no greater options than that. And right now it all comes down to, I believe it all comes down to how many points can players score from the bonus cards.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if the competition is Woodstock against turtle dove,
yeah, Woodstock.
in theory, Woodstock should score more. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Let's see, yeah. So bonus cards.
Jeast is already leading on bonus points. Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, not great. But
I
we
mean,
can
2
score
points.
at least,
2 points is not bad.
Yeah, at least 2, right? Because like 0 would be awful.
2 points. Probably try and play the World Runner now. I mean, take X, play the World Runner maybe. It's 9 point bird with Woodentologist. So 7 points. You don't give a free egg to ethmah.
Yeah, seems nice.
You end up with 1 bird in hand, so they're probably gonna be tied on this. But I think you kind of have to.
I think there is no better option, right? Because like I think Bittern seems pretty much the same, right? Because like we don't have food still.
Yeah, but Bittern is less cool.
But yeah, it's like style points when you play birds that are not cool played that often, right?
Okay, yeah, I somehow forgot that ethmah had Franklin's girl here for a second. Obviously, they're gonna win the last end of round. So ethmah has 3 end of rounds?
We would have to check the scoreboards. Yeah, so like
yeah, because they got the first one. They didn't get the X in order, but they got the series, and they're gonna get the cards in hand.
Yeah.
X spaces, they both have sort of the same. Bird points I don't want to count, but I think it looks like sort of the same. Jeast has more bonus points. It seems close.
No, I think it's really close. Yeah, and as you mentioned, like I don't really like to count because I'm lazy, and hope luckily we have like the end of game scoring.
Yeah.
Scoring mode, so that would be nice to look at, because like the game is pretty high scoring for both players.
Yeah, it's gonna depend a lot on that dove.
Yeah, and the difference is not should be like minuscule.
Looks like Jeast couldn't maximize his yellow throat, so missing 1 point here.
Yep.
I suppose they were expecting another turn of egg laying from ethmah.
Yeah. I mean, you still have to do that. Okay, what's the pull for the bonus card? Yep. Oh,
0! Okay.
yeah. As expected,
Ooh,
at least for me. Yeah, when you draw like the bonus card with no choice, it's like 50% for me that we just draw 0.
I mean, it's still like it does platform builder, so technically
Yeah.
it's an 8-point bird.
Platform builder, and do we maximize on Birdbender as well?
No, they're missing 1.
3, 5, yeah. Okay, still.
And they have
right.
another free card for the rough. Who wins
Yeah.
there? Who wins?
Okay, please play Bittern, just for the sake of it. Let's
20
go.
against-
Yep, Bittern, yes. Yes, I'm satisfied. No, what? No Roadrun, no! No style points.
those are the debates.
I'm
we've
very
had.
disappointed with the end game. No.
I feel like Jeast won.
Yeah, but we'll see. I would hope that ethmah wins just because like Bittern wasn't played for style, but I mean,
Okay, never mind. ethmah won. We just saw. Spoiler alert.
really? I haven't seen any spoilers, but
Oh, same
Ooh.
bird points. Okay.
yeah, that was really nice. Yeah,
Catching up. I think they're tied here.
yeah, almost tied.
Still
Tied
tied.
here. Oh my god.
Oh, dude. So close, man.
Yeah, very close game.
So ethmah takes it with the 2 wins in a row back to back.
Yeah, very nice games. The second one
Painful
was
loss for Jeast here.
yeah. So like that Bonelli, man.
It feels, maybe knowing a little too much to say he just lost to Bonelli, but it does feel like he lost to Bonelli.
I mean, still, I believe it's like because of the Bittern play. Like if you play Bittern
Yeah, it does.
rather than Roadrunner, you obviously win. So there is no option there.
Okay, I've unmuted Jeast. If you hear any screams or loud banging, it's coming from them.
Not really. So, Jeast, how do you feel about that game? Like,
I don't know
wasn't
if they can hear us.
yeah, wasn't really lucky your side.
Yeah. I thought I was starting okay, but then then there was ethmah with his girl, and I was like, come on.
Yeah,
And also at the end of round 3, I was digging for an eagle and I couldn't find it, and then end of turn, there's the eagle, and ethmah is the rough. Yeah, sure.
yeah.
I think that was the game changer,
yeah, for
or
sure.
at least I think won about because of that.
I mean, that's what we all thought when the Bonelli Seagull showed up. I think immediately the balance shifted towards ethmah, and it was sort of Jeast's game to catch up. 0 point on the end bonus card for ethmah here. Could have allowed Jeast to come back a little bit, but they both had bad bonus cards at the end, breeding manager and a 0 point card for ethmah. So yeah, tough.
Can't help that, can you?
I think Flan is planning on winning.
I am here. I'm back.
Oh, you're
Good
here?
game. Yep.
Yeah, man, tough.
Tough game. But we knew it was going to be close. I think you both were saying it was going to be close on commentary. The people in chat as well were split as well. But yeah, like you say, I think the Bonelli and obviously both players gambling on the bonus cards at the end. Jeast already recognising the silly little mistake on the breeding manager, but luckily, if you lost by a point, I think the computer would definitely be flying out the window if you hadn't already smashed it up earlier when the Bonelli came up. But there you go. That is Wingspan, but good game, good couple of games in that series, and of course,
I still want to thank Jeast for representing you up here.
It was a good representation. I mean, two really good games, I think, from both players. yeah, I mean, 4 strong scores across the 2 games. But sadly, we get some real close matchups in this first knockout round. Only one player can go through, but today is ethmah. So yeah, congrats, ethmah. You will find yourself in the next round. I don't know who your potential opponents are going to be, but as we said, there are no easy games in this World Cup. But
congrats for sure.
Absolutely.
True.
Yeah, congratulations.
and Jeast, you might be able to get your revenge. I think you're playing in that other tournament that we have ongoing as well, aren't you? So
I will beat in there.
We'll see if we get Jeast's
He's on
revenge.
game 1.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on that one for sure. But there we have it. There we have it. I think we will wrap up the stream there. So thank you everyone who has tuned in today.
Thanks, Alex, for joining me on commentary.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
And thank you as well to Groove, who was joining earlier on game 1. And yeah, we have another stream which is coming up soon to be announced. We have one more featured match in this first knockout round, so do definitely stay tuned for that. But for now, I will leave it there. Thank you everyone for watching, and yeah, we will see you again on the next live stream.